Our homilist tonight is Karen Spencer. Karen grew up in a small town in the suburbs of the Twin Cities. She attended St. Andrew's Lutheran Church, but chose not to get confirmed in 8th grade because she could not agree with the pastor that Lutherans are the chosen ones. I think that's Frozen chosen up there, right? Yeah. Karen has two brothers, 6 years and 8 years older. Her mother was the first of her family to attend college, attending St. Olaf's and then the University of Wisconsin. Her father attended college on a full scholarship and enjoyed a long career as a chemist. Both parents instilled in Karen a deep respect for education, telling her it is something that no one can take from you. When she was 13, Karen's mother died from breast cancer. "I had the good fortune," she said next, "of having my oldest brother and his wife live next door, close family friends, in addition to my dad. In the spring of her senior year of college, her father died. Karen went home alone. I had the good fortune," she said again, "to get a summer job at U.S. Geological Survey. At the end of the summer, Karen moved to Boulder, Colorado. She went back to Minnesota, but returned to Colorado the year later and promptly met Bob. The rest of my life has been with him." After their son Zach was born, they moved to Southern California, where Bob started a new company. 3 years later, son Mitchell was born. Karen and Bob returned to church after the boys were baptized, valuing the faith and the community. In 1998, they moved to Redmond, and once the boys were grown, they had a new adventure together, opening a bed and breakfast and small winery, which they ran for 8 years. 9 years. That's a lot of laundry, yes. They moved to Everett in 2020, where we are fortunate that they have made our Saviors their church home. As you listen to Karen, listen for the lament for her future self and for the joy of angel messengers. Karen.
Well, you've heard a lot about it, and you're going to hear some more about some of the same things. But when Pastor Deb asked me to speak at a Lenten service, I didn't know what I would be able to talk about, but the idea of good enough captured my attention. The idea of mourning the future self brought up thoughts of how my life has been full of opportunities I hadn't imagined, and sometimes didn't appreciate until much later. I had a wonderful 1950s childhood growing up in the suburban Twin City area with a loving, engaging family. When I was 13, however, my mother passed away, and my father and I got to maneuver my teenage years together. He was quite progressive as a 68-year-old. For the most part, he told me he trusted my judgment. That was quite a responsibility. I didn't want to disappoint him. So I probably was harder on myself than if I'd had prescribed rules. However, I wasn't perfect, but I did strive to be good enough. My father, by allowing me to make my own choices, helped me to go forward when he passed away during spring break my senior year in college. I went back to school and finished my degree, then went home and began the next part of my life. Shortly after arriving home, I was offered a summer job in Washington, D.C. I said yes, got in my car and drove there. With the help of some acquaintances I had made in college, I found an apartment to sublet, and my life after college was launched. As I look back, I realized I wasn't encumbered with the worries about if I was good enough. I just went for it. After the summer in DC, I chose to move to Colorado and convinced my college roommate to go with me. Again, with faith, things would somehow work out. While in Colorado, I got engaged, but that didn't lead to the altar. Though I felt grief for the loss of the life I had imagined, I also felt relief because deep down I knew he wasn't the one. And that led me to being confident in my decision when I met Bob. We built a house in Colorado, and I expected to live there a long time. But a job took us to the Bay Area, and a whole new experience awaited us. It was jarring to leave that dream behind, but life was good. We had hoped to have children sooner than what happened to us, and that was a concern. But that delay allowed me to overcome some personal challenges that led me to being a more stable parent. Along the way, with all the twists and sidetracks of my life that remind me of Billy's path home from school in the comic Family Circus, I have met people that I consider angels in my life. First of all, the feeling that my mother was with me as a guardian angel, gently guiding me. Close family friends who knew and loved my mom and watched over me and gently guided me as I navigated my way after she was gone. My college roommate, who flew to be with me when my father died. The job in DC that was the result of the only job application I had submitted before graduating. My in-laws, who embraced me and felt I was good enough for their son. My soon-to-be best friend, who ambushed me outside the kindergarten classroom saying, "We need to go get coffee." I still stumble and procrastinate and drag my heels, worried that I'm not good enough, talented enough, driven enough. But I look back over my life and find I have been so blessed and lifted up by those I have known and loved, and even strangers along the way. Maybe I can still learn a bit about trusting in the love of God and stepping out in faith. From Hebrews 13, verses 1 and 2, let mutual love continue. Do not neglect to show hospitality to strangers, for by doing that, some have entertained angels without knowing it. I am good enough.